What movie inspired James Cameron to quit his job as a truck driver and become a filmmaker?
Christmas, happy holidays from California. I'm in California and
And
Thailand.
I'm in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Merry Christmas.
So
So
we are super excited because we're going to be talking about Avatar: The Way of Water this week.
we are. It's a fantastic movie. I don't know if you've probably seen it. Everybody's seen either going to see it or have seen it. So there might be some spoiler alerts. Not too many, I don't think, but just be aware of that. So the funny part about for me is Avatar 2 is, there's going to be 5 avatars.
I do know that.
You knew that, okay. And I think they said they gave him $1 billion for 5 avatars. Somebody was saying he had to break even, but evidently he spent 250 million on this, which seems pretty reasonable for a movie like this. I thought, wow,
Yeah.
that's not a horrible budget for such a big film. And but I think he's under a lot of stress though, because when he came out of the premiere, we're talking about James Cameron, the director. When he came out of I'm a lifelong fan of since probably I want to say Piranha 2, because he did Piranha 2, that's how he got his start. But at least since the Terminator, right? I've been a big fan of James Cameron, the original Terminator back in the 80s. So but he came out of the premiere and everybody was asking for his autograph, and he would not give it to them. And so they started to boo him. So he got into his limo. He drove up to his fans. The limo window came out, and a big old finger came out of the limo. He gave him the bird. I said he's under some stress. This just happened recently after the premiere.
Wow.
I said, wow, he's stressed out a little bit. But fans should understand that you just can't. Cary Grant, very famous movie actor from the old days, he used to charge people 50 cents. 50 cents, back in the 50s or whenever, the 40s, 50 cents is a lot of money. And he would say, if I'm going to sign something, you're going to have to pay me. Or some will have little cards made up and with their signature on, they just give them the card. Because it takes time to do all that. You're thinking about other stuff, and I don't want to be messing with this. So I completely get it. It's not necessarily part of their job being a celebrity, to run around signing people's whatever the hell they want them to sign, right? And then they boo him for it, which I thought he was completely justified to do that. But that being said, I thought the movie was the story was pretty basic. I thought there wasn't a lot of deep themes going on here, but technically, and just as a good I mean, for a 3-hour 15-minute movie, the storyline was pretty bare, but it moved very fast, right? Moved very fast, and then I mean, I went to see the IMAX 3D, and I was just, like I said, I'm a scuba diver, and it's the closest thing to scuba diving that you can get without getting wet.
Wow.
I mean, it's that's why I love scuba diving so much, because you get that. I mean, it's very similar. He's a scuba diver too, or a water guy, so that's why a lot of his movies center around water, The Abyss, Titanic, now Avatar 2, right? His big movies. And it also relates back to me, because I am sure he's about my age. We're both about the same age. He might be a little bit older, but we grew up in the 60s, and we loved those. And the 60s people, we loved those old movie epics that ran for 3-4 hours. Lawrence of Arabia, which to me, this is the closest thing to this movie is Lawrence of Arabia or Lord Jim, which are about guys who go off to a different culture and then have to integrate into that culture, which is basically what this movie is, right? So, but they had put a lot of additions into it. But let's go ahead and get your response first after all my ranting.
Sure. I mean, I loved every moment of it. It was so good. It's such a great film. It reminded me of like when I was a kid and watching like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and like being completely immersed in a movie where you forget about everything and you just like want it to keep going. It was like the reason why we go to movies. Like it's kind of like we don't know what that's like anymore, and like I felt like finally we're back. Like it's rare these days. And so I loved it. And my son at the end of the movie, like had to go to the bathroom so bad, and he would not leave because he didn't want to miss anything. He's 17. So he loved it. I will
I'm an old
comment
man. I had to go. I said, I at 2 hours. I said, I've held it up to 2 hours. I'm going to pee on this guy's head in front of me, or I'm going to go now. So I went. I ran, stumbling over people, trying to get out of the thing and then get back. But the whole story had been pushed forward. And I said, oh man, so I'm going to go see it again on Wednesday because. Yeah. And try at least not go to the bathroom during that one part.
No, he was like squirming next to me. Like he was really, we had like 3 Sprites between the two of us. Anyways, but I will comment briefly on something I read about some backlash about the Indigenous take on the film. And I feel like, I mean, I can't comment as a white woman what that is necessarily, but I feel like there is some complaints about the take on that. And all I can say is this, is that he should have called Kevin Costner, because Kevin, he knows what to do. And maybe in the next movie, he should like call Kevin Costner to kind of help him on that part, because with Dances of Wolves, I know that the people were very supportive. Like he did it correctly from what I read.
Now, I know these indigenous peoples are on another planet, though.
I know,
but again, it's the white man savior story.
Exactly.
Lawrence of Arabia, deep Lord Jim. It just goes on and on. Indiana Jones, white savior. You know.
But again, even though they're blue people and it's on another planet and things like that, it was voiced by mostly white actors. You know, I mean, they could have expanded the talent on that. And I did read that, you know, obviously that was not his intention. He just wanted to write a really good story.
Right. You don't think about stuff like that.
You know, so it was not his intent, but maybe he could do better. You know, we do live in a time where we can still do better. So,
well, he's gonna get 3 more chances.
Right.
He'll have to cast Jenny Ortega and Luis Guzman in parts.
Right. And call Kevin up.
And Denzel Washington in some part. I don't know.
But other than that, though, I just thought it was. I mean, I want to be an avatar. I want to have an avatar. I want to be. I mean, it was just like amazing. It was just like such a beautiful film.
Big ass blue guy. Well, that was a beautiful movie, and they're evidently, from what I could tell, is they're going to be using because the planet's huge. You know, it's a giant planet like Jupiter or something, and it's covered in different eco climates. So, you know, you get the forest at the first movie, you get the ocean, the second movie, the third movie might be the mountains and the snow.
Yeah.
You know, fourth movie, maybe the desert.
Yeah.
And and then the fifth movie would be, who knows? Someone said underground or something like that, right?
Right. It was just beautiful to be able to like see that exploration too, that we can't really do in our real lives. And, you know, it's obviously fantasy, but it was just so fun. As a mom, I cried at the end. It was just, spoiler alert, it was just really, I don't know, it made me really sad. Like my kids always make fun of me when I cry at these films, but as a mom, it's just like, you know, it was just a sad ending.
Mm-hmm.
That Spider Kid though, oh my God. So I'm just gonna conclude on this, that the actor that played Spider, he's phenomenal. Like phenomenal.
I had these up and now I can't get it to come up. All the actors.
Yeah. 12, he's 12 at the time when he started filming.
Wow.
The movie, and now he's 18. But what a great actor. And he just like his charisma, and that he just was able to, I mean, he was the only real
Jack Champion. Good name, Jack Champion.
So the only one that's not necessarily, well, that's not true. There were other actors that weren't.
Yeah. He was, oh yeah. Now I know what you're talking about. He was quite good, even though he was the live action guy.
Right,
I thought, wow, this guy's got something going on. He's got some charisma, you know, like that Brad Pitt type of charisma, right?
Exactly. That is rare.
You know?
Yeah. Like when you saw Brad Pitt in Thelma and Louise, you're like, who is that?
Right.
You know, that doesn't happen very often. acted, and he was one of
Very,
those.
very,
Yeah.
very natural actor. Nothing, weird or forced, just,
Right.
believable all the way through, right?
All the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So,
my favorite was Curie, of course,
oh
because
yeah,
I like the strange ones. And of course, Sigourney Weaver played a part as a teenager,
I
which
know.
is amazing, right?
Yeah,
But
that
she
was
had
great.
Sigourney Weaver's face, except it was very young.
Yeah, I
And
loved it. I loved it.
I'm a big Jedi fan, so she was like the Jedi warrior of the group,
Yeah,
and move shit around and blow
yeah,
shit up and do all that cool stuff, right?
yeah. And she felt different. I think a lot of us feel different, like we don't fit in. She felt that way.
Yeah,
I
I feel that way all the time. My whole life as a military brat, that's why I think a lot of these kind of movies like Lawrence of Arabia, Lord Jim. There was a bunch in the '60s, and I mean, Dances with Wolves is kind of like that. I was always spent my life moving from culture to culture and always trying to figure out how to fit in.
Yeah.
Right. So, anyway, that's just why it
did.
resonated with me quite a bit, or all those kind of films do.
So that's the end of mine. I'm with you. I want to go see it again. I can't wait to go see it again.
Yeah.
I'll go see it tonight, actually. But
Yeah, I had to find being retired, I can pick days, but I keep myself busy. But I figured, the cleaning lady's not coming on Wednesday. And I'm not gonna go play golf because I figured I just played once this week. I said, well, that's my day. Wednesday, I'm going to go see it again, right?
Yeah.
And because I was looking at the seats, and the seats are being booked up. So I had to find a day that they weren't quite so busy to get a good
Same.
seat.
Yeah.
And evidently in China, it's like they're just going sick to see the movie.
Yeah.
So I don't think I don't think James Cameron has much to worry about. But I think what he's going to do eventually, he might direct the next one. I think he's eventually give it over to somebody else to direct. I think. I don't know. It's rough. Directing is a tough work. The director is the only person on a set that gets they do a weekly or daily medical checkups on, because the job is so stressful and there's such hard work, right? That
they're doing a lot.
They're doing a lot. And so he's like giving everybody the finger for good reason. Screw you, the movies, for you. I don't need to run around giving people, and then it's one thing to ask for it, but then to boo you because you're not jumping around like their puppet, right? Not your puppet.
Good for him, I say.
Yeah. Anyway.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah.
And Stephen, we got to talk about Stephen Lang, who the Colonel.
Oh, I love him.
Outstanding. He is gleeful in that part. And and I think he's James Cameron said, he's gonna still be the bad guy all the way. It's always gonna be the same bad guy, right? Because they keep him alive at the end. So I guess they wonder how long, if they had planned this from the very beginning, because they started planning this movie way back in the early '90s, before even Titanic.
Wow.
But they said the technology just was not there yet, and so now the technology has become like phenomenal. And you can imagine the third one, the technology would be even better. Everything's all the programming's there, the technology's there. So everything is pretty much laid out. All they have to do, it's like doing games, right? All you have to do now is just change the settings and the artwork and everything. But the programming's all laid out already. So they're just,
well, I think that by that time I could just become like an avatar. It'd like be in the movie and just like be one.
Right. But anyway, Stephen Lang, much older now than he was in the first one, but his voice is still strong.
Doesn't matter.
And he's an irritating son of a bitch, right? You want him dead. Kill him. Finish this guy.
He is phenomenal. Yeah.
And then Spider.
You hate him so much.
You hate him so much, but Spider is his son, right? So it's interesting. Again, back to the father-son theme, like with Pinocchio.
Yeah.
So, I can relate with that with my son, so anyway, I have to go there. But yeah, fathers and sons, it's always a tricky, it's like mothers and daughters. Always a tricky
Don't know. I mean, now I do
relationship.
know. Obviously, I know about it.
You do know, yeah. So anyway, that's our review of Avatar. Unless you have
Yeah.
something else to say, I guess we both give it 100%.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
thought the storyline was a bit bare, but it was just a basic, good, throwback, even though the technology is, top of the line, it's as far out as I guess they can take the technology right now, as far as the filmmaking and the computer stuff. But the story was, like it was a throwback to the old Hollywood, the old Hollywood story, good guys and bad guys, and that type of stuff. So, but if you have not seen it, you have to go see it. And all this talk and spoiler alerts, it doesn't do it justice at all.
No.
Yeah.
And in 3D. I mean, I saw it in 3D. I'll probably go
3D
back and
was-
see it in 3D. Yeah.
Oh yeah. They have a better theater, or not a better theater, but another theater that's got the nice ultra seats and everything. And I said, well, maybe I'll go see it there. The screen's a little smaller, but it's a nice, beautiful, clean screen, not 3D. Oh, well, hell with that. So I'm going back to the IMAX 3D. So anyway, that's as much as we can talk about it today.
Yeah.
I think the big problem with it is the white savior theme, which is a common problem with a lot of movies that people have trouble with. And maybe things will change in the future, but as it is now, that's it for us. From Been There, Seen That, Big Bad Glass Review. We bid you good day or good night.
And Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas.
James Cameron quit his job as a truck driver to become a filmmaker after seeing Star Wars.